Joining us now is 22 News Storm Team meteorologist Nick Bannin with more. Thank you for being with us, Nick.
Hi guys, how are we?
We're doing okay.
Good, good. Yeah, you know, the tornado classification, there was a lot of discussion a few days ago. Is it an EF4? Is it an EF5? Well, it's, you know, people are like, well, what do these numbers mean? The EF scale is how you rank a tornado by the amount of damage that it does. Yes, you can sort of classify it into terms of wind speeds, and EF5 tornadoes over 200 miles per hour, but you really, the scientists, after a tornado happens, they go down to the path of the tornado, they look at the type of damage done, and the difference between an EF4 versus an EF5 can be something that you can't really tell from a helicopter. I know a lot of, we got a lot of these helicopter views, and you kind of think, wow, you know, that's got to be an EF5, but the difference can be, you know, small, minute things that you wouldn't be able to tell, but wow, that can make the difference, push it over into the 200 mile per hour category.
And that's so often why maybe they do an initial grading, and then the scientists, they go back out and they kind of adjust what they had previously stated.
Right. It was probably very clear that it was at least an EF4, but then they'll look for things like the way that the grass pattern looks, or whether the tornado damage over a house left the debris near the house, or whether it just took the debris and completely removed it. That would be a sign of a difference between EF4 and EF5. EF5, you wouldn't really leave a whole lot of debris near a house. The house would be just gone.
Now, Nick, let's compare and contrast a little bit. We're approaching the 2-year anniversary of the tornado that hit us right here in western Massachusetts. What was that on the EF scale, and how did it kind of compare to the other one?
Well, that was an EF3 tornado. Certainly wasn't nearly as wide as the tornado in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma tornado was 1.3 miles wide. It was on the ground for 17 miles.
And right now, if I'm not mistaken, we're looking at the tornado that hit Springfield.
Yeah, this is the one from just a couple years ago, almost the anniversary coming up here in just about 10 days' time. And that tornado, certainly as damaging as it was here to the Springfield area, was an EF3 compared to that EF5 tornado that was in Oklahoma. So a bit of a difference there.
Now, the one that hit Oklahoma, it ripped through Tornado Alley, is what they call it.
Right.
How many tornadoes go through that a year?
Well, in the whole United States, on average, we get 1,200 tornadoes a year. That's a lot. A lot of them are the smaller variety, the EF0, the EF1, do a little bit of damage here and there.
And now, does it have to touch down to be called a tornado?
Yeah, if it doesn't touch down at all, it's a funnel cloud. It's got to touch the ground to hit to be classified a tornado. Here's a map here. This is the average number of tornadoes per year in each state. And there we are at 1 in Massachusetts. So some years you can get more, some you can get less, obviously. Texas has the most with 155, Oklahoma there at 62, 96 in Kansas. Kansas, Oklahoma, eastern Colorado, parts of South Dakota, Nebraska, and even Iowa into southern Minnesota. That's all considered that tornado alley where the majority of the tornadoes occur. There's an image there. So right through Oklahoma City, through Moore, down into Texas, and then all the way north into South Dakota and Minnesota, this tornado alley lies. And you know, right now we're seeing more of the tornadoes kind of on the southern end of that tornado alley, but as we go through the later spring months into the early summer months, the amount of tornadoes kind of shifts up a little further north in the country.
Well, speaking of tornadoes up north in the country, we had a watch last night. Now, what's the difference between a watch and a warning, and how can you predict these things? Because we can't really know when a tornado might strike here.
Well, we had both. We had a severe thunderstorm watch yesterday for all of western Massachusetts. Then we had a tornado warning for Berkshire County. A warning basically means that radar has either indicated a tornado is down, or the potential for a tornado, or it's been actually spotted. Now, yesterday was a radar indicated tornado, and so far they haven't confirmed that one's been down, and my suspicion is that there wasn't one, because otherwise we'd have kind of heard about it by now. A watch means prepare for the possibility for some bad weather later in the day. Warning means act now.
Well, Nick, thank you so much for stopping by today. These tips are incredibly important, and I want to thank you for the work that you do, because you keep thousands and thousands of people safe out there. So
well, you know, appreciate having you know, me on today, Ashley on yesterday, and it's something that we kind of have to think about here too. A couple years ago, we wouldn't have had to thought, oh, tornadoes never happen here, but now we're realizing that, yeah, we do get warnings, we do get these tornadoes from time to time, although they are still rare, and we just have to calmly figure out a plan, know where to go, and then we'll be all right.
The more we know, the better, so thank you so much.
Well, thank you for helping us.